Hey, everybody, welcome to another edition of Five Questions with the Paulist. I am Deacon Mike Hayes, and joining me today is all the way from Boston. Man, he is celebrating a big anniversary. Father John Geaney of the Paulist Fathers. Welcome to the show. 60 years. Congratulations.
Well, thank you, Michael. I appreciate that. It's a great time for me, and I think for all of us, not because of me, but because we are able to celebrate the long time expressions of priesthood for all of us as Paulists.
Absolutely, yeah. And so let's get right into it with question one. You were ordained a priest May 11th, 1964. What's your favorite memory from that day?
But I think my favorite memory was giving my first blessing to my father. Everybody was just assumed that I would give it to my mother. And I have no idea why, but I thought, no, Daddy is kind of quote, the head of the family. And so he should get the first blessing. So that was, I think, the outstanding feature of that particular day, other than, I can still see in my mind's eyes, the cardinal's eyes when he asked me if I wanted to be a priest. And and I clearly did. But that boy, he had piercing blue eyes and they just shot right through mine. That is probably my best memory of that particular day, other than that my whole family was there and people from Ireland, which is part of our family, and my Uncle Jack and my Aunt Nora. So it was just a wonderful day and celebration of what we all wanted as we made the vows and so on to become priests.
Absolutely. Question two, you've spent a great deal of your priesthood working in Catholic communications. So what's one change in communications over the years that you've been most happy about? What's the best thing that you've seen happen?
Well, I think the best thing that we've seen happen is the fact that so many of us were involved in communications as Paulists, and we were doing what we thought was the work that Father Hecker had really called us to do, and that was to preach to people who were not of our faith and try and help them understand what Catholicism was all about. So we were able to do that, and we did that in fine ways. Father Kieser and myself, Father Mulhall. It was just a whole panoply of people, all Paulists, all working for this new kind of apostolate. And I think being able to do that and do what I did, which was to take the popular songs of the day and interpret them in a way that would help us to explain Catholicism. That's what I did, and it was great fun. It was a terrific opportunity.
Yeah. And you talked about you were on local radio stations, right? Or even national radio stations.
Yeah, well, believe it or not, at one point we were on 156 stations with a half-hour program of music and talk, just like any disc jockey anywhere in the United States. It was great stuff, good fun. There was lots of other stuff too. That we did tons of television, but the outstanding piece that started it all was doing the show on the radio.
And question three, on the flip side of what our last question, what's one change in communications work that you don't think has been positive or that you wish you would change?
Well, the thing that really hurt us doing that kind of broadcasting when we could do that was what we call public service time. And the FCC decided to cancel public service time, although they would argue that it wasn't really canceled. But its impact on the broadcaster was indeed a very killing point for us, because Father Hecker, no, it wasn't Father Hecker, it was Father Kieser, to go and move from television, which he did beautifully, to movies. You can do a television program a week without too much trouble financially, but when you get into a movie, wow. And so that was one small, well, it wasn't small, it was a big thing for us to lose what we call public service time. And that's one thing I wish the FCC would look at again, because it was a better time for all broadcasters everywhere.
Absolutely, I agree. Question 4, your latest video series is called Psalm Sense, similar to your radio program, Sound Sense, right? And it's a commentary on the issue of the day with a connection to one of the Psalms. So what made you choose the Psalms for this series?
Well, two things. One, we say the Psalms every day as priests, and you just realize these things are really something. They are beautiful, beautifully put. They are always in touch with what's going on. And you think there's really something, that we're able to read them now, even though they were created a couple of thousand years ago. And I thought, you know what? The other piece of it was I didn't know a whole pile about the Psalms. So I thought, this is one way I can find out about it. I can do a little study, and then we'll make a television program out of that. And I think so far it's been very handy for me, and it's also been, I think, very good for the people who watch.
And for those of us who do morning and evening prayer, I know I use it all the time now. I take a look at the Psalms every day, and I say, I wonder if Geaney has something on this. I'll go back through your Psalm Sense stuff to gain a little bit more insight. So thanks for that. And finally, question 5. You're on a desert island. You have the scriptures with you already, but what's one other book or piece of music that you absolutely need to have with you on the island?
Well, I wouldn't say one piece of music. I would say one kind of music. And I think the kind of music that I would naturally go back to would be the music I had on Sound and Sense. I met Judy Collins, for example, and her music is just, it's really good music. And we forget that, and we don't hear it much anymore. But she was a great lady. She came to the radio station one day. She asked me if there was anything she could do for me. And I said, I'll tell you what you could do for me. You could make more albums. And she said immediately to her PR person who was with her, go get Father the latest album. I thought that was really very nice. The other part that I found amazing about her was that a couple of weeks later in an airport, she spotted me. And I, admittedly, I wear a collar, but I was amazed that all the people that she meets in a couple of weeks, that she would be able to pick me out and by name, because I can't do that. So it's one of those wonderful things that happened. And so the music for me would be the important thing.
Absolutely. Father John, 60 years, man, congratulations. It's so great that that you're still up in Boston and still working hard and still bringing the word of God in so many different ways and so many different genres to people so that they can help understand the word. Giving the word a voice has always been your gift. So thanks for all that. And this has been 5 Questions with the Paulists. I'm Mike Hayes. He's Father John Geaney, 60 years a priest, and we'll see you all again next time.